talented as you are.
Good point. There's nothing wrong with it, and it's not going to affect you as far as the playoffs are concerned. And that would be a very – and you know what? The only negative to it would be, if it's a situation where you schedule a game like that and then you can meet again early in the playoffs in like a rematch. I don't like rematches early in the playoffs if you can avoid it. Maybe in the state championship game, maybe even the semifinals, but early round, I don't like rematches from regular season games. But sometimes, of course, it can't be helped. A couple of other notes: the location of the Orangeburg-Wilkinson opening football game has been moved to Bluffton because of the shooting yesterday at Orangeburg-Wilkinson High School, which 3 students were injured, and so they're going to move their game to Bluffton because of that. So, certainly a sad situation with that shooting there at the school, but fortunately, I don't think anybody was killed in that case. Of course, there were obviously some injuries. And they're going to play May River. They're going to play May River. So May River is down in Bluffton. So they're going to be moving that game from Orangeburg-Wilkinson High School to the May River School in Bluffton on Friday night. So keep an eye out for that if you're down in the Bluffton area. The ACC COVID policy came out today, and much like everybody else, if a team can't play due to COVID, it's a forfeit, and a win or loss will be put in the standings. If both teams can't play due to COVID, both will get an L in the standings. So COVID, if you can't play, it's a loss for you. And if the other team can't, both of you get losses if you both can't play. So I don't know. I'd wait for the other side to announce first, and then I'd figure out a way. I'll say, okay, you go ahead. You go ahead. We'll follow up in a moment. You go ahead. And then, all of a sudden, oh, wait, we got a couple of guys healthy. We make the number. We're good. We're good.
We'll get 53 kids there for the game. But basically what this is, Phil, and it's what the SEC has done in virtually every other conference in the country, it's their only avenue to try and encourage the teams to go get vaccinated. Because outside of making them forfeit a game, I don't know what you could do if you're a conference commissioner. So to me, this is the best thing that the ACC and the SEC has done to flex their muscle. All right, if you don't want to go, and we've seen teams that get vaccinated, NC State baseball most prominently, but we've seen teams get vaccinated and still have positive tests. But I think this is what this is. It's the SEC and the ACC and all the conference commissioners around the country. This is the only weapon they've got in their arsenal to try and make sure that their teams are as vaccinated as possible.
Yes, you're exactly right. We saw where Benedict College announced the other day 100% vaccination rate for those guys. So, my feeling is if you're on a team or team sport, you depend on one another. You need to be vaccinated. Okay, if you're off by yourself playing tennis or swimming or doing something individually, okay, but you're part of a team, and everybody depends on everybody else. And you've heard the rules. If COVID becomes an issue and too many of them have to drop out, you're going to cost your team a loss there. So really, it's incumbent upon you to get vaccinated. If you're going to play, listen, you don't want to play, don't play. Don't get vaccinated, don't play. But if you want to be part of the team, you need to get vaccinated. Couple of transfer notes. Joey Gatewood, who transferred from Auburn to Kentucky, found out he wasn't good enough to play at Kentucky, has now transferred to UCF, where he will probably find out he's not good enough to play there. And Brian Maurer is leaving Tennessee. He has hit the transfer portal. And South Carolina and Clemson have released their non-conference basketball schedules. We'll give you that after the break. And also after the break, hopefully, we'll have Dabo Swinney stepping up to the mic following the Tiger scrimmage. They were telling us right around 6:20, so we'll come back from the break and to see if we're in place to get you Dabo Swinney. Of course, we never know. They say 6:20. Originally, they said right after 6 o'clock. Then they pushed it back a little bit after 6:20. Those scrimmages, those practices, hard to pin down exactly when they're going to end. We'll do the best we can to bring that to you live as it's happening. So just bear with us there. We'll be back after this break. We're at Charleston Southern on the Palmetto Pigskin Tour.
I learned that people Or just for somebody to listen to them. You can't just start cutting somebody's hair and you're going to be quiet the whole time because you're not going to be in business long.
The South Carolina Education Lottery has provided over $800 million to help students attend technical colleges across our state, investing in a new generation of entrepreneurs, just like James. Your passion is our purpose.
Your home is where your memories live. It's where you laugh and where you love. We understand the importance of the valuables under your roof, tangible and intangible alike. So no matter what's around the corner, we'll be there, offering you and your family the support that's made Farm Bureau Insurance a trusted name for nearly 70 years. You deserve more. You deserve a promise. Learn more at scfbins.com.
Call me, Alex Satterfield, at 803-749-9171 for all of your Midlands insurance needs.
In Columbia, South Carolina, game days are our specialty. Whether you're watching the game from inside the stadium or from the big screen at your favorite local spot, the energy remains the same. Craft the perfect fall Saturday in a city where there is plenty of action on and off the field. From tubing and kayaking to Soda City to rooftop restaurant and plenty. Barbecue.
So we got 3 games. Marion Carver's Bay, McBee Hannah Pamplico. 2 games.
Stay tuned. More Sports Talk is coming up on the Sports Talk Media Network.
A bunch of cancellations.
There are many things to like about the Carolinas, and one of those is Founders Federal Credit Union Founders Online, the Founders app. And using your Founders cards and digital wallets are just some of the perks you'll have at your fingertips. And with over 30 locations, we're always closed. Visit RelaxJoinFounders.com or visit one of our office locations to see if you qualify for membership with Founders.
We can do players at 7:05 and do him by 7:15.
Credit evaluation.
That works
Terms
fine.
and conditions apply. Founders Federal Credit Union is federally insured by NCUA. 1 week, 2 football games, unlimited fees.
Is he going to start playing football?
For the Dukes Mayo Classic doubleheader this Labor Day weekend. Georgia battles Clemson in one of the most anticipated Week 1 college football matchups of all time. And East Carolina takes on Appalachian State, where in-state
anything with Dabo?
on the line. 2 can't-miss games at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte. Learn more about tickets and other events, including performances by Ingrid Andrews and Warwick McZee at DukesMailClassic.com.
We are back here on Sports Talk Media Network. Good to have you with us. We are at Charleston Southern University. We'll have Coach Autry Denson and a couple of players. 2 of their best players will be with us at 7:05. I think we're going to do the players first. And then Coach Autry Denson will be with us. Nick Sally, standout defensive end out of Colleton County. And Jack Chambers, quarterback out of Lilburn, Georgia. They will be with us tonight a little bit after 7 o'clock. Let's go to Pat. See if he can give us an update on Dabo Sweeney as he's monitoring things. Do we have a Dabo Sweeney update there, Pat?
Give me just a moment to re-enter into the meeting room, and I should be able to let you know here momentarily.
Mm-hmm.
But as we hit the break there, he had not yet joined the Zoom room.
Okay.
And Phil, while Pat looks for Dabo Sweeney, one thing interesting about the Big South, we constantly talk about all the conference moves and shifts and teams moving here or there. I'm not sure there's a league that has had more turnover over the last 5 or 6 years at the Division I level than the Big South has. You lost PC, they dropped down to a Division I non-scholarship. You've lost Coastal and Liberty, they've gone to FBS level, and you've added Hampton, Kennesaw State, Monmouth, North Alabama, North Carolina A&T, and even Robert Morris for football. That league has totally shifted from where it was, say, 5 or 6 years ago to where it is now.
They're just trying to hang on, basically.
And guys, we do not have them yet. So we are still awaiting on Dabo Sweeney and Clemson to join.
Okay, cool. I mentioned high school football tonight. There are a couple of games in the PD. Marion at Carver's Bay and McBee at Hannah Pamplico. So hopefully those games are going to be played. Canceled games for week 0 include Marion at Johnsonville, Wade Hampton at Easley, Chapin at Irmo, West Meck, Charlotte at James Island, Crestwood at Lancaster, Conway at North Myrtle Beach, Liberty at Pickens, West Oak at Walhalla, Malden at York, West Ashley at Daniel, Military Magnet at Hanahan, Timberland at Keenan, Louisville at Lawrence Manning, Hartsville at Marlboro County. Now Marlboro County, stepping up in competition, will play Latta instead on Friday. Because Latta was supposed to play Sharon, but Sharon's got COVID. So Latta and Marlboro County will get together since Hartsville and Sharon can't play. Airports, Swansea was canceled. Chester, Union County, Carver's Bay, and Waccamaw, Cross and Burke, Columbia, Chesterfield, and Colleton County, Wade Hampton and Hampton, C.A. Johnson and Denmark Oler, Timmonsville and Lamar, Hilton Head and Wilson. Wow. Pretty good number of games being postponed here. We kind of knew going into the camp season in early August that it could be an issue, and it is a bit of an issue. It's not it's not an overwhelming issue. I mean, it's more games being canceled or postponed than you would like, but we still play on. For example, we've got Gaffney and Spartanburg tomorrow night. We've got Greenville and Rock Hill tomorrow night. We've got Greenwood and Hillcrest, West Florence, Lexington. We've got Burns and Greer. I'm just cherry picking some games here. Scroll down the schedule. West Ashley. That game was canceled. Pendleton and Clinton. So anyway, we got good games across the state. Scoreboard tomorrow night at 10:05. Mr. Bergen.
And you referenced Wilson and Hilton Head. That's unfortunate because Wilson, West Florence, and South Florence here in the city are set to open up brand new on-campus facilities this year for the first time in 60 or 70 years, because they'd always played out at Florence Memorial Stadium. But all three of the schools now have on-campus turf stadiums, and Wilson was looking forward to having a packed house on Saturday for that ball game. So that's a little disappointing for them. And South Florence announcing, I guess, yesterday that they're only going to have 50% capacity for their home games.
Yeah. In Columbia, Richland Northeast, for the first time in its history, has an on-campus football stadium now. After all those years, see, Richland Northeast has been around about what? Spring Valley was built early 70s, and I think Richland Northeast came into being like maybe early 80s. Always had to go to Spring Valley to play at Harry Perone Stadium. And it was never their home field at Richland Northeast. I mean, they tried to give them a side and make it look like their side. But, that was Spring Valley's place, and so be it. And now Richland Northeast has their own place. Ridgeview opens up an on-campus stadium here in the Columbia area. So we have a lot of that. Nobody is shy about spending money on these stadiums, I tell you. Just got to get to where we can get people back in the stadiums and fill up those stadiums. I mentioned that South Carolina and Clemson announced their non-league basketball games for this coming season. So for Clemson, the Tigers, here are the non-conference, non-ACC opponents that they will play. They'll play Georgia Southwest State in an exhibition game on November 1. Presbyterian, November 9th, Wofford, November 12th, Bryant, November 15th, all at home. Then a Temple in the Charleston Classic. They'll play two more games in Charleston. Charleston Southern at Clemson, November 26th, at Rutgers, ACC Big Ten Challenge, November 30th. Drake in Atlanta on December 11th. Miami of Ohio at home, December 14th. And South Carolina at home on December the 18th. The ACC opponents for the Tigers will be Florida State, Georgia Tech, Boston College, Duke, Notre Dame, and Virginia. They'll play also North Carolina, Pitt, Virginia Tech, and Wake Forest at home, Miami, Louisville, NC State, and Syracuse on the road. And those other ones I mentioned will be played I guess twice to fill out their schedule. We'll give you South Carolina's opponents coming up, Mike Morgan, too, and Dabo Sweeney.
Is made possible by our friends at Palmetto Citizens Federal Credit Union on 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. Should dry out after dinner. Our low this evening, just a muggy 75. Tomorrow, more clouds than sunshine. High of 90 to go with a 30% chance of some showers. Same for the weekend where we mix the sun and clouds, but still have that daily chance of the afternoon rain soaking. High temperatures for the weekend about 90. I'm Kevin Cohen with your On Point local weather.
What is when it says repeats?
Is that crack in your windshield or your house bothering you?
Have you been meaning to have it replaced but just can't find the time?
Call Absolute Glass.
So they're going to play Florida State and Georgia Tech home and
We
away.
repair and
That's
replace
4
glass on
games.
all makes and model.
Which they play 20 league games.
Glass specialists in the Midlands, and we're
What
continuing
are
to make the
repeats?
process
Don't
quick
keep
and easy.
college
New
students.
technologies and vehicles. We can recalibrate your vehicle back to new.
Rivals, but they're also home and away.
That's what it must be.
That's what I think.
Home and business glass services. Just remember,
Yeah.
if you can see through
I've never heard that either.
No.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that'd be 12 games. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah,
has approved
that
a
must be it.
proposal by the Boy Scouts of
I've never heard the
America to
term
set up
repeats
an
either.
$850 million fund to compensate tens of thousands of men who say they were sexually abused as
Home and away.
youngsters
Why
by
did they put them all
Scout
under
leaders.
home and away?
But the judge on
Yes,
Thursday
that makes
also
sense.
rejected
Well, I think what they're
key
saying is
provisions
Florida
of the
State
deal,
and Georgia Tech are
potentially
their permanent
jeopardizing the
rivals.
agreement that the
So they play that
organization
every
had
year,
been
home and
hoping to
away.
use
And
as
then
a springboard
repeats
to emerge from
must
bankruptcy
be,
later
this
this
is the
year.
year you're going to play
It's
these
not
guys
immediately
home
clear
and
how
away.
Thursday's
And then
ruling
this
will
is the year you're
affect
going
the
to play
future
these
of the
home. This is the
bankruptcy
year you're
case
going to play
for
those.
the Texas-based organization.
Virginia Tech.
On Wall Street, a mixed day
They
as the
could have
Dow was
just
down by
said
66 points, but the
rivals home and
Nasdaq
away and
rose
then just home and
15,
away.
the S&P 500 rose by 5, oil down
All right,
$1.77
tell
to
Mike when you
close
get
at
him on the phone that we may have to cut
$63.69 a
away
barrel.
for a few
More
minutes of
details
Dabo
at
if it pops up.
srnnews.com.
Now, who could that be?
It's Dominion Energy. I
And we don't
signed
have
us up
Dabo
for a
yet, do
home
we?
energy checkup. It's time we learn how to save energy and money.
How much does it cost?
Not a dime, it's free, and it only takes about an hour. Plus, we get a report on things we can do to make our home more energy efficient.
I don't know. Sounds too good to be true.
No, see for yourself at DominionEnergySC.com.
Where?
DominionEnergySC.com.
Certain restrictions apply.
Getting involved in your community is easier than you think. If you can click, you can help. If you can share a status, you can lend a hand. If you can log on, you can give back. Because when you volunteer virtually with AARP, you can help your community without even leaving home. AARP has all kinds of opportunities to get you started and will provide the support you need to make it easy and fun. Your community needs volunteers like you. Get involved at aarp.org/volunteer here.
Have you walked around your own home lately? I mean, it is your most valuable financial asset. Have you spotted any cracks in the home's foundation? Now, if you have, don't panic. You call TerraTech instead. Why am I so comfy recommending TerraTech? Well, they check off all the boxes that matter to me. First, they're local. They're family-owned in the Midlands for more than 38 years. More than 10,000 homeowners, just like you and just like me, have trusted TerraTech to restore their homes. TerraTech combines their collective experience of over 150 years of professional service in the foundation repair industry, along with utilizing state-of-the-art products and solutions. TerraTech fixes foundations. They also repair or build retaining walls. They install French drains, and they offer free inspections and repair quotes. They stand by their work, and they can be trusted with protecting your home. And hey, if you don't want to take my word for it, they're also A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. Find them online, TerraTechInc.com, or call TerraTech 791-8888.
Hi, this is Michelle Arnold, your host for Travel Buzz, every Monday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 100.7 The Point. We're here to make your travel dreams a reality. That's Travel Buzz every Monday morning at 9 on The Point.
All South Carolinians are now eligible for the COVID-19
Dad,
vaccine.
you're going to get the COVID-19 vaccine, right?
Nah, I don't think so.
Why not?
I think the vaccines were made too fast. Who knows what they put in that stuff?
Dr. Johnson, and he told me the vaccines are safe and effective.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Dad. I need you to stay healthy. So can we look into the vaccines more together?
Sure. Anything for you, sweetheart.
Visit scdheck.gov/vaxlocator to find a vaccine location near you.
By the way, before we do what's supposed to happen here, thank you for pushing the button. I thank you. Programming thanks you. America thanks you.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Sports Talk Media Network. Thursday night, busy Thursday night, big Thursday night here on Sports Talk. We're at Charleston Southern University, joined by the coach and players after the break. We're waiting for Dabo Swinney to come up and visit with the media, bring that to you if we can, when it becomes available. Mike Morgan coming up in just a second. We gave you the Clemson non-conference schedule. Here is South Carolina's non-SEC basketball slate. November 4th will be against Benedict. I'm assuming that's an exhibition game. November 9th against Upstate at home. November 12th at Princeton. November 14th, actually the Princeton game is in a tournament, and then either Western Kentucky or Minnesota on November 14th. November 18th, home to UAB. The 23rd, home to Wofford. 28th, home to Rider. December 1st at Coastal Carolina, Chris.
They are looking forward to that. Trust me. They are excited about that finally coming through. It was supposed to happen, I think, a year or so ago, and for whatever reason, it did not pan out. But, yeah, they've got the Gamecocks coming into Conway on December 1st.
December 5th, Georgetown at home. December 12th at Florida State. I don't think that's a neutral site game. I think that's at Florida
No, that's
State.
the one in Rock Hill, remember? They're going to play that game in Rock Hill.
Okay. All right. Florida State in Rock Hill. I don't remember. But since you're telling me that, I'll take your word for it. December 14th is Allen. Okay. December 18th at Clemson. December 22nd, Army at home. And December 29th, South Carolina State at home. So they'll have, if that Benedict game is an exhibition, that Allen game will not be a counting game since Allen is a NAIA program. That'll be a non-counting game in their schedule as far as the NCAA computer and stuff is concerned. Okay, let's welcome in now Mike Morgan. Morgan on the move here on Sports Talk. You can hear Mike most everywhere, any time of the day. Of course, number one here on Sports Talk. This is his favorite stop. But he's got podcasts going on. He does other show appearances. He'll be on the SEC radio network in the morning, hosting SEC This Morning tomorrow morning. So you can wake up to Mike in the morning. And he's brought to you by Stuart Wingo of Ameris Mortgage, where you can save thousands on a refi or new mortgage today. Just give Stuart a call at 803-319-1777. So do you have your own jingle when you do SEC in the morning? Mike in the morning.
I am jingle-less. I'm doing it with Andy Staples. Maybe he's got a jingle for the both of us, but I don't even control the bumper music in and out of breaks. You know, we got a producer who loves hip hop and just will pick random hip hop songs and then try to make us guess what the artist is. So that's pretty much how much control I have. But I'll talk for 3 hours without any autonomy over anything else.
Right. Well, listen, you've got that part down pat. That is no problemo. So we're getting ready. A couple of weeks to go. A couple of weekends to go before we get to the start of the football season, and everybody's getting energized around here and all around the Southeast and around the country. As you are preparing yourself, what have you picked up around the SEC? Georgia's lost a couple of key players and maybe more for that Clemson game. South Carolina's got a quarterback question going on right now because of Doty's injury, and there are other issues at other camps around the SEC and the ACC.
Well, it's almost like you want to avoid headlines this time of year, right? The only way you really hope to have any headlines is kind of like what you had at Kentucky. Kentucky, there was questions who their quarterback was going to be, and now all of a sudden they've made that decision in Will Levis, and the young man Gatewood, who started off as a big time recruit at Auburn, transfers to Kentucky. And it just continues to get beaten out. So he's going to transfer a third time. But, at some point, you got to look in the mirror and maybe wonder, okay, it might be me. Maybe I need to just play at a lower level in order to shine a bit. But you mentioned, the Doty injury, Florida lost a corner. Georgia's down 2 starters for the game against Clemson. Sadly, those are many of the headlines this time of year, and those are the kind of headlines you don't want to see.
No question about it. You mentioned Gatewood transferring, not winning the job there. Helinski transfers from South Carolina to Northwestern, doesn't win the job there. When are these guys going to learn that, the grass might look greener, but it doesn't always turn out to be greener, and it might be best just to put your feet in the dirt and put your foot down and stay pat and work harder, and maybe you can beat somebody out eventually, or the fortunes will turn and there'll be an injury or something and you'll get your opportunity. You don't want it that way, but sometimes that does happen in all sports, and you're able to benefit from it.
Well, look, the transfer portal, which, by the way, has a heck of a lot more players in it than destinations to go to. So the supply is far outweighs the demand for a lot of these young men that get in it. So I think it's a learning curve, and a lot of kids get bad advice. I will say this: if you are a quarterback, only one of you can play. And in some cases, you wait your turn. It used to be Bobby Bowden, the late Bobby Bowden, which is still kind of hard to say. If you weren't a redshirt junior, you weren't starting. But the game has changed now, and kids are more ready than ever, and more freshmen are starting at quarterback. So you see the writing on the wall. You're clearly not in the plans. If that's the case, then I don't blame a quarterback for transferring, particularly if it's to a lower level, a lower conference, a school that's not as prominent. I mean, in the case of Ryan Helinski, I know the Gamecock game I had late last year, when I asked Mike Bobo about him, he just looked at me point blank and said, I know quarterbacking, and he doesn't fit in our plans, which was a pretty abrupt way of answering the question. But at that point, I knew he wasn't going to be around in 2022, because you have to figure that wasn't just his opinion. That must have been shared by some other folks. And even though it didn't work out with the previous coaching staff, I'm sure they could at least evaluate a quarterback somewhat. So I think that I think in some cases the transfers are very premature, and like you said, be better off to stick it out. But in other cases, I think a quarterback sees the writing on the wall, and look, you're there to play. You might as well go somewhere you're happy to play. And if it's clear that you're just never going to be good enough to do it, then I don't blame you for leaving.
Mike Morgan on the Move, brought to you by Ameris Mortgage, joining us here tonight on Sports Talk. And Mike, I wanted to let you weigh in on our poll question this week, because I think it's an interesting topic. If the Atlantic Coast Conference, the Big Ten, and the Pac-12 basically form an anti-SEC block, our question is, would that stymie the dominance of the SEC in college football, or in your opinion, is that bigger deal in the boardrooms where they might be able to vote against the SEC on various NCAA legislation?
Yeah, great question. And by the way, this is one of the main things I will be talking about tomorrow morning. This, to me, is a classic case where the headline, when the story broke, was it early this week or late last week, I guess, when the story broke, the headline is a heck of a lot more stronger than the reality. There's a lot of sizzle in this steak, but there's not a lot of actual steak. A scheduling alliance, what does that even mean? Does that mean you're going to get in the family truckster if you're a Southern Cal fan and travel 2,700 miles for that big matchup at Rutgers in Piscataway, New Jersey? No matter, Greg Sankey and the SEC hold the trump card. So, I mean, no matter what these other leagues do, it's not going to change the effectiveness of the SEC. But I don't think anybody has to panic. The Big Ten's in great shape. The ACC is in good shape. The Pac-12 is in good shape. The Big 12 is another story. They need to panic. But a scheduling alliance doesn't do much of anything. And if you threaten to stall a playoff expansion, well, that's fine. The SEC will just have the most amount of teams in the playoff every year. They'll either have one or two, and no other conference will ever really threaten to have two. So I don't think that's realistic. Those other leagues want to have more representation in a 12-team playoff. They need the money from the playoff. I think there's a lot of posturing going on. There's a lot of hurt feelings going on. But Oklahoma and Texas, make no mistake about it, they went after the SEC, not the other way around. And if the SEC said no, guess what? Somebody else would have said yes. So I think it was a win-win for the two programs and for the league. But I think the other conferences don't have to just come up with crazy ideas at this point. Do what you have to do to get near that magical number of 16. Come up with as strong additions as you can and get better as time moves along.
Mike, if we had to put sort of an over-under on this ball game, where would you think the final score might end with Georgia and Clemson? And how does Georgia get to a certain point in terms of points to win that ball game, and how does Clemson get there to win that game in basically 2 weeks?
I mean, I don't think either. I think both teams are too good to get blown out. I think it's going to be potentially one of the games of the year. Now, week one, there's no preseason in college football, so it's always a little bit scary how ragged the play can be sometimes. A turnover that probably wouldn't happen in week 3 might happen in week 1. But I think overall it has a chance to be an outstanding game. I mean, look, there's just not many weaknesses for Georgia. The thought would be that maybe their secondary is a little bit down, and maybe Clemson can exploit that. On the other hand, I think our lasting memory of Clemson's defense wasn't great, and it's a Georgia offense that should be able to put points on the board against anybody and everybody this year, including in a defensive-heavy league like the SEC. I think it's going to be a really good game, and I think the loser is still good enough to find their way into a playoff. But make no mistake about it, it means a ton to both these programs.
Mike Morgan on the move with us here on Sports Talk. Couple of more moments with him. We're still waiting on Dabo Swinney to get to the interview room at Clemson. And so, a couple of weeks away, I'm imagining you've got a little bit of your upcoming play-by-play schedule set. Can you share with us what's ahead for you?
Yeah, the first 2 weeks I will be in Nashville for Vandy's first game under new coach Clark Lee, who I think is actually quite impressive. I think they got that hire right. We'll see now what they can do. I do like their quarterback. They just didn't have much around him last year, and quite honestly, they were a bit of a disaster in 2020 and a whole lot of levels. I think that'll be cleaned up somewhat. And then in week 2, we head into Baton Rouge for LSU. They'll be taking on McNeese State, your typical SEC out-of-conference matchup in the early weeks of the season to kind of feel where you're at. But it's going to be a night game, Death Valley. I think LSU, I know a couple people have even picked them to win the West this year. I think this has to be a big bounce-back year for Coach O and company. How their defense was that bad last year is a modern-day miracle. But they cleaned house on the staff. I think there's a new attitude, and Stingley might be the best pure defensive player in the country. He's certainly one of them. So I think you'll see a much better season this year in Baton Rouge, and looking forward to going out there in week 2, and always love going to the Music City.
Oh, no question. Okay, Mike, enjoy your weekend. Remind everybody to catch you tomorrow morning. You hit the air at what time?
8 a.m. sharp when you'll be sleeping.
207
Sirius XM 374. Andy Staples and I we'll be talking 3 hours of college football.
Well,
Mike, I'm awake. I can watch you at that point in time and listen.
In my world, nothing good happens before 11 o'clock in the morning, okay? So I don't even care to know about it.
I do think they replay it. Like I think there's like a midday replay. So for someone like yourself that wakes up at about 11:15, you can still catch the replay.
No. I'm listening to the replay of Sports Talk at that point. So.
Oh, okay. You're listening to yourself. I like it. Very, very narcissistic of you. It's beautiful.
And I've got it on just on a reel there, just playing over and over again. So.
I think the self-portrait in your master bathroom is a little bit much, but if it works for you, that's okay.
Whatever floats your boat, my man. We will talk to you next week. Have a good week and enjoy your time on the XM dial there. All right, Mike
Dabo, my best.
You got it. We're waiting on
Thanks,
Dabo.
Mike.
In fact, let's go to the break, and maybe when we come back, we might catch a break and get Swinney here with us on the air. Thank you, Mike Morgan. Morgan on the move. Appreciate Mike being with us. Of course, Mike here on Sports Talk, brought to you by Stuart Wingo of Ameris Mortgage, where you can save thousands on a refi or new mortgage today. And that number, 803-319-1777. We are at Charleston Southern University. We've got those guys coming up after the top of the hour break. We missed recruiting last night. I should be flogged. We'll make up for it tonight around the horn as well. Be right back.
If you're going to kick off the playoffs, why not do it big?
Green flag is up.
Like Crown Jewel event big. Like 2 races for the price of 1 big. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series and NASCAR Cup Series. 2 races, 1 epic Sunday. The playoffs begin at Darlington with the 72nd running of the Southern 500, September 4th through the 5th. Adult tickets start at $50, with kids starting at just $10. Get your tickets now at darlingtonraceway.com. South Carolina is just right.
Hi, this is Phil Kornblut, and for me, high school football Friday nights in the Palmetto State are electric. And I want to know how all the teams in the state are doing. For that, I turn to scfootballstats.com. I've used scfootballstats.com for years as a resource, so I have all the scores and schedules right at my fingertips. And so can you. Never hunt for scores, standings, or rankings again. scfootballstats.com delivers weekly updates right to your inbox. Everything from your favorite teams, including Skeeza, all in one place. Fan subscriptions are just $25 for a full season of access. Head over to scfootballstats.com right now for a free trial. That's scfootballstats.com.
All South Carolinians are now eligible for the COVID-19
Dad,
vaccines.
you're going to get the COVID-19 vaccine, right?
Nah, I don't think so.
Why not?
I think the vaccines were made too fast. Who knows what they put in that stuff?
Dr. Johnson, and he told me the vaccines are safe and effective.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Dad. I need you to stay healthy. So can we look into the vaccines more together?
Sure. Anything for you, sweetheart.
Visit scdheck.gov/vaxlocator to find a vaccine location near you.
You're listening to Sports Talk on the Sports Talk Media Network. We're back in a moment. The future of golf is waiting for you at the Players Club. Rain, shine, or after dark, you can enjoy the game of golf anytime at Columbia's Indoor Country Club. The Players Club delivers the most realistic golf experience and offers more than 90 championship courses. Play or practice with the same state-of-the-art full-swing simulators used by Tiger Woods and Jordan Spieth. Visit maincoursesc.com to book a bay and become a player today at the Players Club, part of the Main Course, 1626 Main Street in Columbia.
Your home is where your memories live. It's where you laugh and where you love. We understand the importance of the valuables under your roof, tangible and intangible alike. So no matter what's around the corner, we'll be there, offering you and your family the support that's made Farm Bureau Insurance a trusted name for nearly 70 years. You deserve more. You deserve a promise. Learn more at scfbins.com.
Call Buddy Bridges in Lawrence County at 864-923-2174, covering Lawrence, Clinton, Joanna, and the shores of Lake Greenwood.
I know many of you around the state went to bed last night thinking something was missing from my day. Did you feel that way, Chris? Pat, did you feel that way? When I went to bed last night, I thought something big was missing from my day. You know what that was, guys? You know what was missing from our day yesterday?
I don't.
The recruiting report.
Of course.
We were so busy last night up at Erskine and with everything else going on. We just could not squeeze it in. We just flat out couldn't squeeze it in. But we've got it tonight, brought to you by Seawells. You know what tomorrow is? Tomorrow is Roast Beef Friday at Seawells. Now, I'm going to go tomorrow. I'm going to take a chance that will not see Gary Sewell because he's a big Jets fan, and it's Jets and Packers this weekend. Of course, we're playing our fifth-string quarterback. So if they beat us, he's going to brag about it and claim that they beat Rodgers, and Rodgers isn't playing. A whole bunch of them aren't playing, but it's the Jets and the Packers this weekend. But besides that, I will go to Seawells and have a great, delicious lunch because it's the luncheon buffet, which is fantastic, as I've told you over and over again.
Hey, Phil, sorry to interrupt you there, and we need to get this recruiting in, but Dabo has started now. If you'd like to transition to that and
jump to Dabo Sweeney, and we'll pick it up in a little bit. Go to Sweeney.
And today was finally the day. He's done some thug work, but today was finally the day to really let him get. I think he went about 12 plays of live, had 3 great catches, and but he got knocked around a few times, and just. I don't think I've ever seen a player so happy to get tackled. But he was great. He was ready to go. So just a blessing to be able to see him out there today. Everybody was excited for him.
Hey, Coach. Trevor Gross from CUTigers.com. Y'all have been one of the nation's leaders in explosive plays on offense the last 3 years. Did you see any explosives today, or was the defense pretty stingy again like Saturday?
Oh no, there were some explosives. Definitely, I thought there were several explosive plays. In the scrimmage, I thought DJ had his best day. It's been he's been kind of steadily getting better as camp has gone, and I thought he had his best day today. But we had several big plays in special teams, pass game, had a couple of really nice runs. So it was a good day.
Dabo, this is Gene in Charleston. You said you got the good live work on special teams. Overall, through camp so far, how would you assess the progress of your special teams?
It's been really good. We've got a lot of veterans, and so that's been a real plus for us. Super proud of Will Spires. I mean, he's been awesome, very consistent. BT's been awesome. He actually did not have a good day today, but out of 16 days, this is the only bad day BT's had. He was just a little off today for whatever reason, but he's had an amazing camp. And I really like where we are from a personnel standpoint with our field goal team. Punt's been great. I like what I'm seeing in the return game. Got a big return today. So, again, working our first kickoff return. It's good to see that. I like how we're handling things from a punt return standpoint. So we've gotten a lot done. We still got a lot more to do. We got a lot of situational things still to work next week, kind of finish up that aspect of it. But we've got good people. We got good personnel, and we've got depth. So that's a blessing for us. But, BT and Will have been awesome. Again, BT didn't have a great day today, but he has had an amazing camp, and both those guys are going to be weapons for us.
Dabo, Larry Williams here. How are some of the operational and procedural things on offense, snapping, and I know you wanted to clean up a lot of the false starts and things like that from last scrimmage.
Yeah, today was much better. I think we had, we went from 10 penalties to 2, and we had no bad snaps. We had a couple with our third group, our pride group, but the guys that we know that we got to count on to go play in a couple of weeks, they were excellent today, right on point, right where they needed to be, and so it's good to see. That's what we want to see. We just want to see us improve. You get 2 scrimmages. And I thought the guys that needed to improve, they did just that. And the guys that we wanted to see some consistency from, I think we saw that as well. So it was a good day, much better day procedural. The first scrimmage, we had 10 penalties and a bunch of bad snaps, and we had a couple of drops today that was disappointing. But all in all, procedurally it was very solid. Much better.
Coach, going back to special teams, obviously,
do you want me to come
Coach
back to y'all
Khan
maybe after this next answer?
this year instead of Coach Pierman. Do you have some other coaches chipping in, like Coach Venables, or is it pretty much all Coach Khan handling that?
No, we all work special teams. It's all hands on deck. Mickey coordinates it on the field. Coach Spires, Bill Spires, does an awesome job for us off the field. But Mickey coordinates everything on the field, and then all of us are involved. Everybody, Coach V, Coach Elliott, we're all involved in special teams, and I think that sends the right message, to everybody on the team.
Live.
All right, there you go. Dabo Swinney live from up at Clemson following the Tigers scrimmage this afternoon. So sounds like things are falling into place there as they gradually wind down camp and start turning their focus to the Georgia Bulldogs, just a couple of weeks away in Georgia. Speaking of the Georgia Bulldogs, if Clemson doesn't spoil their national championship hopes, it could be Charleston Southern. Did you know Charleston Southern plays in Athens on November 20th? Bucks could be the big spoiler of the whole national. These guys, I'm looking at Mr. Sally and Mr. Chambers, and they're like, yeah, by the time we get to them, we'll be ready for them, okay? They're going to join us, the players, after the break, and Coach Denson following them. We'll continue from Charleston Southern after the top of the hour break.
Someone will be right with you.
The Point.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
Grills, outdoor kitchens, fireplaces. Summer sizzle starts with Bart.
This is 107. The Point.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Keith Peters. A suspect has been taken into custody by D.C. law enforcement hours after police said he parked a pickup truck near the U.S. Capitol and claimed to have a bomb, sparking evacuations of several nearby buildings.
Capitol Police Chief Thomas Manger confirmed at a press conference that the man, whom police identified as Floyd Roseberry of North Carolina, had surrendered to authorities. Manger said police were able to see a propane gas container on the truck, but he said officials have not yet been able to search his vehicle, adding that they still need to, quote, render it safe. Pressed that police uncovered Roseberry's motive, Manger said law enforcement had spoken with his family and that he had been dealing with issues. He also noted that officers were able to determine that Roseberry had a criminal history in North Carolina, but he said it was nothing that serious. Bernie Bennett in Washington.
U.S. officials are struggling to speed the pace of evacuations of Americans and Afghans at the Kabul airport. In a hopeful sign, the State Department says it expects a major increase in the number to be airlifted soon, but obstacles remain, including Taliban checkpoints and paperwork problems. State Department spokesman Ned Price says he knows there are reports of people blocked from reaching the airport.
We've seen the reports of congestion. My understanding is that things are moving quite efficiently at this hour at the airport now. But every report we see of someone unable to reach the airport is of concern.
Oregon Governor Kate Brown is mandating COVID-19 vaccinations for all teachers, educators, support staff, and volunteers in K through 12 schools.
Oregon's vaccination requirement for healthcare workers will no longer have a testing alternative. Healthcare workers will be required to be fully vaccinated by October 18th or 6 weeks after full FDA approval.
On Wall Street, the Dow down by 66 points, the Nasdaq rose 15, the S&P advanced 5. More on these stories at townhall.com.
If you're attacked by a bear, a dog will throw himself into the mouth of the bear to save you. Dogs are dogs. They pour out their love onto you. Before long, you can't live without them. I have a chocolate cocker spaniel named Lady and a blackmouth cur. He's about 120 pounds, and his name is Arlo. My little cocker, her coat's as soft as a stuffed animal. They're both real soft coats, and my dogs don't have any health problems because they're eating what they need to eat.
DINOVITE.com.
Dynavite is like pouring a multivitamin right onto their food.
The omega-3 fatty acids, flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa, the digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
We'll be scooping our Dynavite onto the food, then squirting the liquor chops and the fish oil. They start salivating.
Dynavite is nutrition.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
It's a lot of responsibility owning a dog. I get my Dynavite at DINOVITE.com.
Israel's prime minister is preparing for his upcoming visit to the United States. The latest from the media lines, Felice Friedson.
Israel's new prime minister will make his debut appearance at the White House next week, unless COVID-19 considerations delay his departure. Prime Minister Naftali Bennett will arrive for his meeting with President Biden, prepared and focused to partner with the United States in combating Iran's growing belligerence. The nations share concern over the election of Iran's new president, Islamist extremist Ebrahim Raisi. Responsible for countless deaths, his presence raises the region's position as flashpoint. Against the background of frequent Israeli strikes at Iranian military assets in Syria and Iran's adept use of its terror proxies, experts believe the region could erupt with little provocation. I'm Felice Friedson, Town Hall News, Jerusalem.
News and analysis at themedialine.org and townhall.com. From Washington, I'm Keith Peters.
On Point Weather is made possible by our friends at Palmetto Citizens Federal Credit Union on 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. Should dry out after dinner. Our low this evening, just a muggy 75. Tomorrow, more clouds than sunshine. High of 90 to go with a 30% chance of some showers. Same for the weekend where we mix the sun and clouds, but still have that daily chance of the afternoon rain soaking. The high temperatures for the weekend, about 90. I'm Kevin Cohen with your On Point local weather.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
Grills, outdoor kitchens, fireplaces. Summer sizzle starts with Bart. This is 107 The Point. This is The Point. Make thepointradio.com.
Welcome back to Sports Talk on the Sports Talk Media Network. You can reach the guys with the South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number. 888-898-2525. That's 888-898-2525. Now back to Phil, Chris, and Pat with the second hour of Sports Talk on the Sports Talk Media Network.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It is Sports Talk on this Thursday night, Sports Talk Media Network, Palmetto Pigskin Tour Stop. We are at Charleston Southern University. Let's dive right into it as we have two of the key Buccaneers as they've returned really every starter from this spring. Basically, everybody from what would have been the 2020 team. They've come back, and they want to win a Big South championship this year. We've got quarterback Jack Chambers out of Lilburn, Georgia, out of Parkview High School, home of Jeff Francoeur.
Yes, sir.
Do you know him?
Yes, sir.
You know Jeff?
I met him a few times.
Cool, cool. And from right here in South Carolina, good old Colleton County High School, Nick Sally, the big defensive end. And I'll tell you what, man, did you pump iron before you came here? What were you doing, man? You wanted to show off to people? Show the people who are watching the stream those guns you got. Come on.
It's nothing much. I got a little pump from a workout earlier, just getting done. So
what's your bench? Don't be humble. Don't be falsely humble.
Go ahead, make up a number, Nick.
355?
355.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Something slight.
That's about two of you, Jack, I think.
Definitely is.
Yeah. Well, guys, you had a spring season. You went 2-2 in Big South games and a lot of practices and all of that. But really, your mind is set on this fall, Jack. I got to believe. And I got to believe that with the defense, your defense was outstanding in the spring. Pick up the offense a little bit more here. You guys could be pretty tough in 21.
Yes, sir. That's the plan.
What do you like about this offense?
Up-paced, allows all the athletes on the field to show what they're capable of.
Yeah. Running a lot of RPOs, or what are y'all doing primarily?
We have a lot of RPOs, but we still run first, but a downfield threat.
Yeah, and that's you. I mean, you're the downfield threat as far as getting the ball to the receivers.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about you and how you've progressed here the last couple of years as quarterback.
When I first got here, it was basically a triple option offense. So it was just basically run first and run second.
Mm-hmm.
And now moving towards the spread offense, being able to show my abilities and be able to throw it, it's just helped me. I molded into a better quarterback, trusting the guys on the outside and just keep working with them. Just only going to make me better.
You consider yourself more of a passing first quarterback, not a running quarterback?
I would like to think that.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Stay in the pocket.
I would like to think so. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Is that what the coaches want you to do?
They want me to do whatever it's going to take to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nick, the defense was outstanding. One of the best defenses in the Big South in the spring. Have you guys picked back up on that here in camp this fall? Do you see a pretty gnarly defense out there?
For the most part, yes, sir. Just trying to get just trying to bring some things back. And Coach Vance is always cooking stuff up for us. He understands that he has pretty much older guys out there now, so he feels more comfortable, and he's definitely confident in us. Getting those new schemes, new things down, and then also being able to teach the younger guys that we brought in too. So we're really meshing well together. It looks, those first couple of days in camp, they can look really rough. I think probably our first day was about as bad as it was going to get, but since it was the start, that's probably the worst you're going to get. So we're just trying to, just get to that level that we're used to competing at. So
you guys only gave up about 15 points a game in the spring. I mean, in today's college football, that is fantastic. And you were really good against the rush, about 130 yards a game. Where do you see the defense, going as you try to step up here in the fall? I mean, what kind of numbers do you think you guys can post?
Well, definitely we want to make sure that we contain we're definitely going to be a run stop defense first. We're going to try to keep everything in front of us. As far as D-line, we just want to keep everything in front, create a new line of scrimmage. And as much as we love our linebackers and our DBs, we want to try to make those guys not have to put in as much work because we want to make sure everything stays in front of us and that we get it down before it leaks out to the second and third level. But we have full confidence in those guys in the back end that they're going to handle their business as well.
In your defensive line, you and Chandre Mims, Anton Williams, all considered among the best in FCS. I mean, that's a nasty looking defensive line you got.
Yes, sir. So, and then we also got the privilege of adding Coach Coley with us who came from Western Kentucky, and he's just firing us up all around. I mean, now we have, I believe, 17 guys in our room.
Mhm.
That's the most like I've seen in a D-line room since I've been here. And I mean, every day he's just challenging us to compete, just be better. He's not letting us settle for what we think is good or what we think is great at the moment. He's constantly pushing us. So we're really excited about going into the season.
Jack, what is it like to go against that defense every day?
I mean, it's always great going against the best D line you're gonna face every season. So it gives me some work. Needs to, but I mean, I like it. I love it.
I mean,
it's competition.
are they a terror for you? I mean, when you're dropping back, are they in your face almost every time?
No,
he doesn't like to admit it.
No, not at all.
Well, how good's your offensive line?
Oh, they're outstanding. They're working better every day, coming out working to progress, and that's all we can ask for is them to keep getting better and better.
Which of your receivers have you developed that really tight relationship with on the field in a game where your go-to guy in a tight situation? Have you got one or two guys that you like that?
Well, it's actually kind of interesting because we've dealt with a lot of injuries at the receiver position from the past, so new guys step up each and every game. So I've had a relationship with Garris, Gio, Caden, and we just keep adding new guys, and new guys keep coming in and making plays. So, I mean, I can depend on any one of them.
What is the offensive mind of Coach Denson like?
He wants to be a rush first offense. He wants to air it out with a attitude.
Down the field.
Mm-hmm.
He likes to run the ball and then hit with the big play.
Yeah, exactly.
That is the goal.
That's the goal.
Are you getting there to where it's where it needs to be in his vision, the offense?
I don't think it will ever be where it needs to be in his vision, but we are working towards progression and working on being as good as we can be at the moment right now.
Nick, does Coach Denson share a lot of Notre Dame stories with you guys? Does he?
Most definitely.
Yeah. Give us a couple of examples. What does he say?
He tells us all the time that we're lucky that he's not running the ball. So
he's not
running the ball. He tells us what he would do if he was running the ball, and we just give him a little chuckle, like, all right,
whatever,
just brush him off.
Yeah, you do realize he's Notre Dame's all-time leading rusher.
Yeah, we know, but we can't let him know that like we care. It's like, all right.
You just shrug it off.
Yeah,
huh?
just got to shrug it off.
Now, Nick, the schedule is got to be one of the toughest in FCS this year. You open up with the Citadel at their place, big rivalry game. Then you play the preseason favorite in the Big South here in Monmouth. That'll be a huge game. Then you go to East Carolina. Robert Morris is there. That's a league game. Hampton, a league game. North Alabama, Campbell, North Carolina A&T will be very tough. Gardner-Webb, of course, and then you play at Georgia to close it out, Nick. So, I mean, you guys, you've got to rise up and play at a high level against this schedule.
Yes, sir. Most definitely. We're looking forward to it. I mean, some people can see it as, like a gauntlet type of schedule. I mean, but we're embracing every bit of it. So, I mean, we definitely want to start off right by going downtown and, handling business. And I think once we get the ball rolling from there, everything will just come into place.
I like that. Going downtown and handling business.
Yes, sir.
Jack, are y'all going to go downtown and handle business?
That's the plan. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Y'all ever run across any of the Citadel guys? Do y'all ever, run down on King Street or anything? You ever cross each other's paths and talk a little trash or anything?
Probably not knowingly, but I mean,
no, not really.
Yeah. Jack, what would it mean? What would it mean to you guys to beat the Citadel at their place? And I know you've done it. You did it not too many years ago.
Oh, it was a while ago.
Has it been a while?
Yes, sir. But I mean, it would just mean. I mean, it would mean a lot, but just like any other game, let's got to go out there and win.
Yeah.
But I mean, Citadel does hold a little bit more passion, just because there are rivals across the road. But
yeah.
I mean, just like another.
And they look at you guys like they're little brothers. They look at because they've been around for 200 years or something, and and they're the military college of South Carolina and all that kind of stuff, and they probably look at y'all like the little brothers.
Right.
And that's why we can't wait to go down there. Yeah. We wouldn't want to have it any other way of starting our season and opening our season. So
you'll be tuned in. 2 weeks from tonight because they open up at Coastal Carolina.
Yes, sir.
You'll be watching closely.
Yes, sir.
Last thing, Jack. Can this team win the Big South? I know you're. I think you were picked 3rd or 4th in the preseason poll. What do you think? Can this team win?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why do you say that?
I mean, we obviously have the talent. We have, I would say, the best defense in the Big South, and we have the parts on the offense, and we're working every day to get it going. And I only see us getting better and better. The spring was a kind of glimpse of what we can be as an offense, and we're just working on it to make ourselves better, and I think we will be.
Nick?
Oh, most definitely. As far as like with the right pieces on offense, I know that we have those offensive weapons. When we get on even the third phase of our team, which is our special teams. I mean, we have Coach Moss now he's just fired up every chance he gets. So as far as I'm concerned with this team that we have, every aspect I expect us to fire off and just win in each stage of the game.
Well, we wish you guys a lot of luck. It's going to be fun watching you because you're coming a long way, and Coach Denson's an excellent coach, and he's doing a lot in a short amount of time. So good luck to you guys. Appreciate you being with us tonight.
Yes, sir.
And hope you have a great season. Stay healthy.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, guys. Jack Chambers and Nick Sally from here at Charleston Southern. Keep an eye on those two and the rest of the Bucks because they are going to be heard from in the Big South. We've got Coach Autry Denson coming up after the break, so we'll get to him in just a moment as we continue with the Palmetto Pigskin Tour live tonight from Charleston Southern University. Back after this break here on Sports Talk.
Life. It has its ups and downs. Sometimes it's little things like hitting every red light or dropping your cell phone. Maybe it's the bills, rent, or pressure at work. But when it comes to the South Carolina Education Lottery, you should never feel like playing will solve everything. The lottery is a game. It's played for fun. So set a dollar amount. Expect not to win and make sure responsibilities, family, friends, and work come first. Visit playresponsiblysc.com.
Hey folks, mortgage rates have dipped to their lowest levels in recent history, and with home values up in many areas, now may be the perfect time to refinance your home. Whether you're looking to lower your monthly payments, free up cash for home improvements, or just pay off your home faster, a quick call to the one and only Stuart Wingo of Ameris Bank could save you money. If you're looking for competitive rates and exceptional service, call Stuart Wingo. 803-319-1777. That's 803-319-1777. You will save money just like I have so many times over the years. You can also visit him, amerisbank.com/Stuart Wingo. Stuart Wingo, the man with the plan for all your mortgage needs.
One weekend, 2 football games, unlimited mayonnaise. Get ready for the Dukes Mayo Classic doubleheader this Labor Day weekend. Georgia battles Clemson in one of the most anticipated Week 1 college football matchups of all time. And East Carolina takes on Appalachian State, where in-state bragging rights are on the line. 2 can't-miss games at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte. Learn more about tickets and other events, including performances by Ingrid Andrews and Warwick McZeet at DukesMayoClassic.com.
All South Carolinians are now eligible for the COVID-19 vaccines. For help finding a vaccine location in your area, visit scdhec.gov/vaxlocator or call 1-866-365-8110. COVID-19 vaccines are free and don't require ID or insurance. Visit scdhec.gov/vaxlocator or call 1-866-365-8110 to find a vaccine location near you.
Back with you here on Sports Talk. We're at Charleston Southern University. Just heard from 2 great guys in Nick Sally and Jack Chambers. Almost said Jack Douglas. That would have been the wrong one to say, wouldn't it, Coach?
Yeah, he looked different guy.
Yeah, but Jack Douglas was a heck of a player. You don't know him.
I do not know.
Yeah, former Citadel quarterback from back in the 90s. Yeah. But anyway, we'll get these guys are revved up. They're ready for the Bulldogs.
They're just ready to go out and compete.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for joining us.
Man, always a pleasure.
It's great to see you again. You're coming off spring 2-2 and had a good first year. Did you feel you built on some things in the spring that you did in year one?
Definitely had an opportunity. First of all, we were just blessed to have the opportunity to go out and compete in the spring. As you know, so many other people didn't play in the fall and they didn't get that opportunity. So it was really good. I liken it to a really in-depth evaluation, kind of NFL preseason like, where you get 4 games, and normally in the spring you're competing against each other, which guys get kind of tired of. We had a chance to really get an in-depth evaluation of not only our guys that were returning, but for the freshmen. That's why I actually think one out of this thing, because usually for freshmen they come in the summer and then they play in the fall. Well, these guys came in the summer. They were here with us in the fall, and then they got a chance to play in the spring. So they weren't playing on necessarily that high school body. And with the COVID year, they're still freshmen.
Yes. I mean, you've got everybody back. So, I mean, basically 21, 22 starters, which, if you've got a good improving team, that's a good thing. I got to believe that's a good thing for you, and you feel confident about these guys.
Yeah, numbers never hurts, right? And so we have the full roster, full capacity, and more importantly, we've had opportunity for those guys to be within our culture and indoctrinate to it for a full year as we go to build on what we did in 2019, what we did in 2021 spring, and now going 2021 fall.
Yeah, difficult schedule. Not that you're not backing away from anybody, but I mean, it's going to test you.
Yeah, it was like that in 2019. I mean, I want to play competition. I want to line up and I want to know what we have. And so we don't want to sugarcoat anything. Our guys are really embracing that and getting up for that. And so you heard it from Nick, you heard it from Jack. Those are the games you want to play because we want to be the best. And so to be the best, you have to play a schedule of a bunch of tough opponents. And the mindset is to go in and dominate those guys, prove something to yourself, and also send a message to just everyone else that we're moving in the right direction and that we're going to be here for a while.
How good is your defense?
You know what? We'll find out on September 11th, right?
Yeah.
So,
but you have an idea.
You know what? I know what we've done, and that really doesn't matter at this point, right? As you know, man, it's a short-term memory type deal. So the expectations are high for those guys, and we expect them to exceed those expectations. But we got to go out and do it.
Yeah. Your defensive front, though, in particular, and we had Nick in here, and he looks great, and I'm sure the other guys do as well. You have to be impressed with that group.
I'm always everything starts up front anyway, right? Whether it's the O-line, D-line, so everything. I don't care what kind of system you run. Football is still blocking and tackling, and it begins up front. So you're always excited to have depth and veteran leadership is what you get out of that group. Those guys have played a lot of football. They have a high level of pride. The standard that Coach Zane and his guys set for those guys, I mean, they do a great job of pushing them through that standard. But it makes you feel good to know that those guys, it's not their first rodeo. And again, the expectations just keep going up and up and up, and we expect them to exceed it. So we'll see, like I said, come the 11th. How far we exceed those expectations.
Now, Jack was telling us offensively, I mean, you really want to run the football, but then you want to strike big, which is what you said when you got here. You believe in big plays, and you want to establish the run to set up those big plays. And Jack seems to be coming along as a quarterback. What about his progress under your tutelage?
You know what? Jack has done a really good job of embracing the role of being a leader, and being a leader is him handling his business, but now bringing other people along. So really what we're looking from Jack is he's shown the ability to make plays both with his arm and with his legs. Now it's how many guys can he make better around him, right? And so that's the job of the quarterback. He's the focal piece of the offense. How many of those other guys, young guys in particular, can he make better and have them play above where they are?
What do you like about his game?
You know what? Jack's a throwback player, man. From the standpoint of he'll do whatever it takes to make a play. And I love his grit. I love his tenacity. I love his ability to compete and his just resilience. You talk about having a short-term memory. He drives me crazy because he'll come out and make a throw that I'm like, man, if I had hair, I'd be pulling it out. But then he come back and make a play that you're like, man, like that is amazing.
Yeah.
And so his resilience is just, he's unflappable.
He certainly seems mature and very, very calm from talking to him. So as I look out here at the stadium, I see the beautiful new field turf. I know there's a smile on your face about that. How's it feel? Players must love it. And is that a further indication of the commitment that your athletic administration has here to making this program successful?
Absolutely. It begins with Dr. Costin, then it goes to our AD, Jeff Barber. And so, absolutely, it is good to know that people say things and then to have them back it up with actions. We got an unbelievable playing surface. I mean, our guys are excited every time they come out there on it. It's like Christmas every day at this point.
Yeah.
And so it's really good. And like you said, just further evidence that, they understand the importance of investing in student athletes from a facility standpoint.
Is there something in particular about this surface, the brand, or the way it was made that is maybe different, or is such a big positive for it?
You know what? I don't know the logistics of it. I know aesthetically it looks amazing.
Yeah.
I think they did an awesome job. It was one of the things, people like to, laugh and joke and say, hey, they give you a deadline and you say, oh, yeah, well, they're not going to make that. They were right on everything. I mean, with the weather and everything. So they did a phenomenal job, but it just really came out exceeding expectations. I mean, it's beautiful. And again, it's further commitment, further, evidence for our guys that, they support us over across campus.
What is on the drawing board next for you
as far as
facilities?
You know what? I'm probably the wrong person to ask because I will let Jeff Barber answer that, because if you ask me, man, that pencil never stops. I will keep on drawing. I will keep on. I mean, my vision, I got a great imagination. Let's just say it that way. And if I can envision it, I feel like it should happen. And so, you know what? To kind of go the other way, I tell our guys is that our job is to now go out and work through our culture, work through our championship habits and standards. And now it's at the point where we have to come out there on the other side of those tough opponents that we've been having good games with, will be coming up short. And that'll allow me to keep that pencil going. So it really is that simple. What we do on the field now is going to build on the culture that we've established. And I'm excited to see them go out and compete and do that.
Let me ask you a question about college football in the future, in particular with your knowledge of Notre Dame and things happening with the big programs. Where do you see Notre Dame landing in all of this? Could you ever see them maybe being forced to join a league and give up its independent status? I know they had to go to the ACC last year for obvious reasons, but could you see a permanent move somewhere like that happening?
I do not. And maybe that's the Notre Dame alumnus in me, but I don't, because just for the simple fact that they always, from a respect standpoint, it was always the Power Five and Notre Dame. And so it was never an issue. Money helps, right? Notoriety, the brand helps. And so I don't see that happening, especially since the other sports are in a conference, right? So we're ACC, everything else. But I see it as actually them, because when they were doing the college football proposal, it actually, in a lot of people's eyes, leveled the playing field to where Notre Dame doesn't play a championship game. And now you can't get a guarantee, so you have to play another game for Notre Dame to get in now. So I see with that bringing it kind of to parity, I don't see them being forced to.
What do you see for the future of college football with everything that's happened when we're talking about NIL, transfer portal, ease of transfer, now SEC gobbling up territory and maybe more, and what's going to happen with the other conferences, playoff expansion? I mean, where's it headed in the next 20 years?
Man, I think the sky is the limit, man. I mean, I think no one can anticipate how much it's changed and how fast it has. Think about all the conversations we've had for years around actually paying athletes. And then they not only, took that step, but they literally just blew the top off.
Blew the top
right?
off.
I mean, it wasn't subtle at all. It was straight like 0 to 100.
Right.
And no one would have thought that it would have happened like this. I was actually just reading something about the Daniels kid from Georgia signing his deal and sharing it with his teammates. And so I think you'll see more of that, because we have some phenomenal young men playing college sports, right? And I think this allows their personality as well as the NIL stuff for people to see them outside the helmet. So I'm in favor of that. As far as conference and things of that nature, man, again, I'm from Florida, so, from the South, SEC country, and nothing that happens in the SEC is surprising to anybody in the South.
Yeah.
They, for whatever reason, are always 4 or 5 steps ahead of the game, and so I'm not surprised that they pull Texas, they pull Oklahoma. Who knows, because the whispers have always been for years that the Power Five are basically going to go do their own thing, and I don't know, man. I don't know if there's an indication of what's to come, but I think that it's an exciting time, both for the institutions, and it's good to see that there's now some parity for the student athletes. And so how that plays out, I think nobody really knows at this point. I think that it'll take 2 to 3 years for us to get an idea when the dust starts to settle and see some normalcy, but it's exciting to be a part of it and a privilege.
Good luck to you guys this season. Thank you so much for coming over. We really appreciate it. We'll be in touch. Hope things go well.
Please.
Our visit with Autry Denson at Charleston Southern University. Appreciate the coach coming over and spending some quality time with us here on Sports Talk. We're back in a moment.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at noon, right here on The Point. Take time for a visit to PragerU. We'll tackle today's issues, interview intriguing newsmakers, do some teaching and some learning together on 100.7 The Point and MakeThePointRadio.com.
Hi, this is Jennifer Coolidge. The American Heart Association says the disco song Stayin' Alive is the near-perfect feat for hands-only CPR. If you see a teen or adult collapse from cardiac arrest, you only need 2 steps to help save a life. Call 911 and push hard and fast in the center of the chest to the beat of the song Stayin' Alive. Disco is back and it's saving lives. To learn more, go to heart.org/hands-only-CPR.
Nationally supported by the WellPoint Foundation.
Social distancing slows the spread of coronavirus. So if you have a fever, dry cough, and shortness of breath, call your healthcare provider before going in. More info at coronavirus.gov. Let's all do our part because we're all #AloneTogether. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. 3 senators say they've tested positive for COVID-19 despite being vaccinated. The lawmakers announced their breakthrough cases Thursday as the Delta variant spreads rapidly across the United States. Senators Angus King of Maine, Roger Wicker of Mississippi, and John Hickenlooper of Colorado all said they have tested positive. The Senate is away from Washington this week, but lawmakers were on the Senate floor together on August 11th during a marathon voting session. The new cases came the day after U.S. health officials announced plans to dispense COVID-19 booster shots to all Americans. On Wall Street, the Dow down by 66 points, but the Nasdaq rose 15, the S&P 500 advancing 5. Crude oil down $1.77 to $63.69 a barrel. This is SRN News.
Are you looking for free checking and free savings? Dave Ramsey here, telling you to go see my friends at Palmetto Citizens Federal Credit Union. They're not a mega bank that's so big they lose the ability to treat you like a human being. At Palmetto Citizens, you're not just a number, you're a member. Join today at any of their 14 locations or at palmettocitizens.org. Federally insured by the NCUA.
So your home is your castle. I work hard all day. My reward is time at my home with my family, living comfortably. I don't want to worry for a moment about bugs and pests. I've had Palmetto Exterminators taking care of my home for 19 years. Now, that's a long time without worrying about pest control or infestation or termites, and that's because Palmetto Exterminators takes care of it all. Might not matter to some people, but you know what it does to me? They're family-owned. They've been doing this the right way for over 60 years. The staff is courteous. They're clean. They're totally professional. And you know, it's termite season. Palmetto Exterminators offers a free inspection. They'll customize the program to fit your needs and your family's budget. They offer a lifetime warranty with their termite agreement. Now, I speak from experience. Like I said, 19 years with the same company. I can't give a more glowing recommendation than the one I proudly give to Palmetto Exterminators. Online, palmettoexterminators.net, or call my guy, Ron Byers, 254-5833. That's 254-5833, Palmetto Exterminators.
Hi, this is Michelle Arnold, your host for Travel Buzz, every Monday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 100.7 The Point. We're here to make your travel dreams a reality. That's Travel Buzz every Monday morning at 9 on The Point.
Fran Halloran here. What am I looking for when I make a recommendation to you? I'm looking for integrity, ethics, intentionality. When it comes to your mortgage needs, Greg McCoy from Simplified Mortgage Solutions needs to be your only call. There are plenty of national mortgage companies with fancy names and fancy schemes out there. Don't be fooled. Simplified Mortgage Solutions will meet or beat any national lender's proposal. Greg is local, and I love local. Born and raised in the Midlands of South Carolina, Greg will treat you as if you are his only client as you go through the mortgage process. Simplified Mortgage Solutions specializes in conventional, VA, USDA, and FHA mortgages. They can do it all. I trust them, and so can you. I've worked with Greg for a while now, and everyone I've referred to him has thanked me after the fact. Online at simplifiedmortgagesc.com or just call Simplified Mortgage Solutions at 803-722-6600. 803-722-6044. That's 803-722-6044, and tell them the Money Coach sent you.
Local in the morning, afternoon, and evening. Columbia's local talk radio experience. 107 The Point. MakeThePointRadio.com. The Point.
Okay, thanks again to Coach Denson and the players here at Charleston Southern, man. They were fantastic. We just had a great conversation with Coach Denson off the air, just, talking about Notre Dame stuff, Clemson stuff, and Trevor Lawrence. I told him, I said, hey, I wasn't going to bring up those games that Clemson took you all to the woodshed when you were at Notre Dame, and so I didn't go there with him on that. Actually, I don't think he was there. I guess it would have been – no, he was coaching there. That's right. He was an assistant coach there when Clemson got him in the playoffs that first time around. But a great conversation with Coach Denson and the players. Got a chance just to meet his young son who plays over at First Baptist. And it looks like he's going to be a player as well. So, yeah. All right, let's get back to what we were doing. And we were going to do recruiting. I was talking all about Seawells. Yes, tomorrow is Roast Beef Friday, RBF, over at Seawells. Make sure you get over there, 1125 Rosewood Drive. And, of course, the luncheon buffet is excellent. It's 11 till 2, and the very best in the catering business also there for you at Seawells. They'll come to you or host at their facility on Rosewood Drive. Their phone number, 803-771-7385. So going to the recruiting stuff, first some basketball. 2023 four-star power forward 6'8" Brandon Gardner of Columbia announced this morning he is transferring from Gray Collegiate in Columbia to Word of God Academy in Raleigh. So there goes another one out the state. Gardner is ranked number 5 power forward nationally for his class in the 24/7 Sports Composite. His offer list includes USC, Clemson, Illinois, Texas A&M, Auburn, NC State, Duke, Florida, Georgia, Maryland, Kansas, Memphis, DePaul. He has taken unofficials to USC, NC State, Maryland, Georgetown, Duke, and North Carolina. But with him leaving the state, I think the Gamecocks and Tigers can probably kiss him goodbye when that happens. That's never a good thing. So you look at him leaving the state, and you look at Gortman leaving the state to go play pro basketball. And we had I think there was another one that was leaving the state. I'm trying to think. Did the player from Blythewood? Yeah, I think he's going to Oak Hill. Am I right about that, Chris? Do you remember that?
I don't remember that, but I was going to ask you, do you think it's still the image that South Carolina is a football state that is chasing players out of our state to, like North Carolina, for instance, which is revered as a basketball state? I mean, the competition level here in our state, if you watch enough high school basketball, there's some outstanding games.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why you believe that you would get that much better competition going elsewhere, unless still there are people saying, well, you play in South Carolina, they're a football state, they'll never adopt you as a basketball player.
I think you're right. I mean, the emphasis in our state, let's face it, the emphasis in our state is strongly on football.
Sure.
And these basketball players, they know that, and it's hard. It's hard to keep them at home in a lot of ways. It's hard to recruit them to come to your place, just like Noah Clowney announcing yesterday his Final Four. No Gamecocks, no Tigers on that list.
And Corn, if you're referring to Julian Phillips, who was at Blythewood, he's transferring to Link Year Prep in Branson, Missouri.
That's it. Yeah. So I knew he was leaving too. So there you go. You got Phillips leaving in the 22 class. You got Clowney going to go outside the state in the 22 class. You got Gortman, who's leaving out of the 22 class. I mean, that's 3 top dogs right there. And in the 23 class now, you got Gardner, who's leaving the state. So yeah. Not good, but what can you do? What can you say? All right, what else do we have for you in recruiting as we continue? All right, we mentioned Noah Clowney. Held offers from Clemson and USC, announced that he's down to Indiana, Virginia Tech, Florida, and Alabama. He averaged 10 points, 9 rebounds per game, rated a 3-star, number 88 prospect nationally in the class, number 4 prospect in the state of South Carolina. 6'6", Joshua Ola Joseph, Oseo, Minnesota, named the top 3 of Clemson, Minnesota, Loyola of Chicago. He also has offers from Cal Poly, Colorado State, New Mexico, and Texas A&M. He made an official visit to Loyola in July. 6'6" Ryan Dunn of Pennsburg, Pennsylvania, who attends Perkiomen School in Freeport, New York, included USC in his top 8. The others are Boston College, Minnesota, Virginia, Georgetown, Maryland, Oklahoma State, and Pitt. Clemson was also among the offers, 3-star, number 5 in New York, number 47 nationally among small forwards. 2023 point guard 6'5" Caleb Foster, Oak Hill Prep, has Clemson in his top 8. The others are Auburn, Virginia, Stanford, Duke, Wake Forest, Louisville, and Charlotte. He is a 5-star, rated the number 3 point guard nationally in his class. USC also offered him. He's out of Harrisburg, North Carolina. Football, 2023 tight end Ty Lockwood, Nashville, announced a commitment today to Ohio State. USC, Florida State, and Penn State were also on his short list. Former Greer tight end Jaleel Skinner of Greer, who is now at IMG, has set October 9th for his commitment announcement. Short list of Clemson, Alabama, Texas, Florida State, and Miami. Spartanburg place kicker John Love committed to Virginia Tech. 2023 corner Brandon Sisse of Lakewood was offered by Akron, his first offer. Baseball, USC landed a transfer from Vanderbilt. Outfielder Matt Hogan, 6 feet 195, out of Melville, New York, ranked the number 7 prospect, the number 1 outfielder in New York by perfect game as a high school senior. Over 3 seasons with the Commodores, he played in 29 games. He hit 105, 2 hits in 19 at-bats, 1 RBI. He's the second SEC player to announce a transfer to USC. Earlier, Missouri first baseman Brant Belk announced plans to move to the Gamecocks. And 2024 left-hander first baseman Bo Hollins of River Bluff committed to USC. His father played at USC and later in the major leagues, primarily with the Phillies. There you go. There you go. There you go. That's recruiting tonight, brought to you by Seawells. And without further ado, something else that we missed from our show recipe last night. It's time to go, as the Yankees have moved way past the Red Sox. It's time to go. Around the Horn with Chris Burkett.
And as always, presented by Farm Bureau Insurance. Alex Satterfield handling your home, life, auto, and health insurance in Columbia at 803-749-9171. Or you can visit with Buddy Bridges in the Lawrence County office at 864-923-2174. Freddie Freeman of the Atlanta Braves making a little history last night, becoming the second Braves player ever to hit for the cycle twice by accomplishing the feat against the Miami Marlins. The reigning National League MVP doubled in the first, tripled in the fourth, singled in the fifth, and his 27th home run of the season, which was a 2-run shot, came in the 6th inning. I loved his comments, Phil. He said, we had breakfast this morning and we had 2 cappuccinos delivered, and she chose the cappuccino and she handed it to me and said, this is one with a lot of hits in it.
Oh.
My guess is if Freddie Freeman could do an NIL, he's going whatever Starbucks would be his name, image, and likeness sponsor, I would imagine.
I would say that he would cash in on that in a big way.
It's the 9th cycle in Braves franchise history, according to the Elias Sports Bureau. Herman Long actually hit 2 cycles himself for the Braves. And I know you remember both of these, Phil, 1896 and also 1900. Freeman hit his first cycle against Cincinnati back in June of 2016. And a couple of quick checks in on the minor league standings as we head down the stretch in minor league baseball in the High A East standings out of the South Atlantic League. Still Greenville trying to make pace and cut into Bowling Green's lead, but not much happening there. The Drive actually has won 3 in a row, but 6 of their last 10, but not making up any ground on Bowling Green. Presently still a 15.5 game lead over third place Greenville. Greensboro sitting in second place, but they are a distant second as well off the pace that has been set by Bowling Green 7 games back. Bowling Green 65 and 27. Meantime, in Low A East, the South Division, as we have said, virtually all season, it has been the Charleston River Dogs at 65 and 27. They've got a game tonight tonight against Columbia. That game has yet to start. It will take place down in Charleston.
Well, I
Charleston
don't know
right
about
now,
that because as I look outside right now, remember the movie Independence Day when that big alien ship was hanging over the world. That's what
Yeah,
we've
and
got
sort of
over Charleston
eclipse
right
the
now.
sun.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got one of those things hanging over us.
Well, assuming they're able to play, and it may not matter, Charleston has a 19-game cushion over Myrtle Beach, the Pelicans in second, Columbia, the Fireflies, a distant third, 22 games back in Augusta, setting 25 games off the pace. And that is tonight's trip around the horn, brought to you by our good friends at Farm Bureau Insurance.
All right, very, very good. We'll go to the break here on Sports Talk, come back and get you a little Marcus Satterfield, USC offensive coordinator. He met with the media today, as did Clayton White. We'll get you some Clayton White tomorrow night on our Founders Federal Football Friday night. But that's going to be a regular thing for South Carolina this football season, I do believe. I think they plan to have regular weekly press sessions with the coordinators. Of course, along with the head coach on Tuesday. They'll have their own day, which I think is going to be Wednesday, if I understand the schedule properly. That's something a little unique and kind of neat, I would say. All right, we got Satterfield coming up after the break.
I'm attorney Jim Corbett. I love sports, and I've helped people for over 30 years. Contact me at jim@jimcorbettattorney.com when the insurance company won't pay your claim or you have complicated issues. Some other business causes your business to lose money, jim@jimcorbettattorney.com. When you lose a relative and find out you got cut out of a will or don't get what was promised. When you have serious injury, like from a wreck or mishap or on the job, jim@jimcorbettattorney.com.
We understand how important it is to have transportation you can rely on. So no matter what the road ahead brings, we'll be there, offering you and your family the support that's made Farm Bureau Insurance a trusted name for nearly 70 years. You deserve more. You deserve a promise. Learn more at scfbins.com.
In Irmo, call me, Alex Satterfield, at 803-749-9171.
Founders is offering a low-rate mortgage with up to $4,000 in closing costs to full-time hospital employees, honoring your frontline efforts against COVID-19. With no PMI, no origination fee, and no limit on the loan amount, you can't go wrong. Visit founders.com/HEC and apply for your hospital employee choice mortgage today. Membership qualification required. Terms and conditions apply. Institution NMLS identifier number 410646. Founders is an equal housing lender and is federally insured by the NCUA.
Hi, this is Phil Kornblut of Sports Talk here with Major Billy Downer of the Department of Natural Resources. What words of wisdom do you have for those hitting the water this summer?
Phil, collisions can be prevented easily if every vessel operator fulfills three major responsibilities. One, practice good seamanship. It's the responsibility of every boat or PWC operator to take all necessary action to avoid a collision. Two, keep a proper lookout. Failing to keep a sharp lookout is the most common cause of boating collisions. And finally, maintain a safe speed. Remember, boat safe, boat smart.
All right, back on Sports Talk. Bet Online has Clemson 1-6 to win the ACC. North Carolina's 15-2. Miami is 9-1. They've got Alabama 5-8 to win the SEC. Georgia 2-1. Texas A&M 11-1. If you like long shots, the Gamecocks are 150-1. Louisiana.
So if you bet on Clemson, you've got to bet $6 to win one. Is that how I'm reading that line?
Works.
Wow.
I think that's how it works. Louisiana is 10-11 to win the Sun Belt. Coastal is 8-5. Appalachian State is 3-1. Until I read Tony Morrell's thing this morning, I was kind of feeling the Gamecocks 5 or 6 wins. I might drop them back to 2 after reading that thing. Holy smokes. Here is Marcus Satterfield. Hopefully my question's in there about that.
It is.
The scrimmage on Saturday. Cool. Here's Marcus Satterfield as he took questions from the media this morning over at the football operations building, talking about the offense, that scrimmage, and other things related to the football team on the offensive side.
We were already talking about maybe, getting Zeb, making sure he was, if anything did happen or we did want to pull the trigger on this, he was ready to roll. And so he had been running, lifting some weights, and obviously he's very sharp. So he was already engaged in the offense. And he played 3 months ago or whatever it was.
Marcus, what did you learn from the quarterback position specifically in the offense as a whole in Saturday scrimmage, and what do you want to see improve as you go into the one this weekend?
We've got to take care of the ball and value the ball. I think obviously any first scrimmage, everybody's playing. You're making sure people are getting good quality reps, so you get the evaluation of each kid or each young man. Moving in after the first, to answer your question, after the first scrimmage, we have to improve on executing our assignments and taking care of the football. And in short, don't beat ourselves. And I think, with a young offense at certain positions, especially the quarterback position, we rely heavily on our offensive line right now to control the mindset of our offense and the attitude of our offense. And I think that they're doing a really nice job. It's something that they've never had to do, so they're learning how to do it. And I think just from Saturday to today, at this very moment, they've made a huge step of owning the offense and not from a mental standpoint, but just the attitude and the implementation of what our standard is when we're out there playing.
Marcus, do you guys consider Jason the number one right now? Is that fluctuating?
We don't really have a number one right now. I mean, they're all, him and Zeb and Colton and Connor, they're all getting, we're spreading out reps. Like, to answer your question, we have to get this done quick, and we've got to put them in competitive situations, rapid competitive situations now, and we don't have time to wait because we've got to figure out who that starter is going to be so they can move on and our offense can move on. We don't want to let it linger. If you have two quarterbacks, you don't have one, so we got to figure out who's going to be pulling the trigger, and when we do that, then we'll commit to that guy and just move straight ahead. But they're both, them and Colton and Connor are all for, fighting right now at this point.
And was EJ out there today?
Yes, EJ was there.
All right, two things for you. How realistic is it that Luke is ready for game one?
I don't know that. I know that he's fighting to rehab and everything right now, and he's doing that tirelessly. I have no clue though. I mean, he's not out there practicing right now, so we're not going to do anything that puts him in danger of a lingering injury that lasts all year. We're going to make sure that he is healed up before we put him out there and let him go.
Jason mentioned it in his press conference, and you mentioned it earlier, just getting in better shape over the course of the summer. Is that something y'all recognized in the spring, that he needed to change his body a little bit, or how did that come about? Was that something that you had to encourage?
No, we encouraged it, and I think he felt it. Like, he came in, he was a little bit overweight and he couldn't move. And I think at this level, especially in the SEC, you've got to be able to move in the pocket with these guys that are, the pass rushers and the speed on the field. You'll get swallowed up. So he made a commitment to it, and he done a phenomenal job. And so I think he's reaping the rewards now of that hard work just in his play right now in practice.
Marcus, you've had guys and as freshmen and Jacob or PJ or whoever run this system. Luke was in a position to do that too. Just as a young guy, and when you look at a quarterback to run this system, what are kind of the one or two or three things they have to understand or learn or be able to do in order to run this system successfully?
This sounds cliche, but they have to be able to take care of the football and value the football. They can't just be reckless with it and throw it up in the middle of the field, or the way the ball handling, whether it be exchange and reads or things of that nature. So just to have they could be young, but they got to have the maturity to take care of the football. The communication, they got to be able to communicate, and they got to be able to control the tempo. All the different tempos that we play with on offense, they've got to be able to execute those, whether they be slow or fast. And all those guys you mentioned did that at a high level. And I think, these guys right now have all taken hold of it, and we're really not flinching. I'm really pleased with where they are.
Marcus, you went to ETSU with Jamie Chadwell, is that right?
Yes, sir.
What was he like back then, and what do you think about his progress in the coaching ranks?
He was just a very solid, phenomenal human being first, and very dependable. A guy that everybody kind of was attracted to. Like, he was there. Like, if you needed anything, he was going to make sure. He was a quarterback. He was going to make sure that you had it. Just from organization of 7-on-7s, throwing the football, accountability. He was always the guy. He was phenomenal. He's a coach's kid, and you knew he was going to be a great coach from that point on. And what he's done has just been phenomenal. But it's not shocking.
Yeah, hey, Coach. A writer for one of the websites that covers the team wrote this morning that, according to a source who was at the scrimmage, he described the offense as being really bad in the scrimmage. Of course, a lot of fans read that and wonder about, the offense. Would you describe it that way in terms of the performance of the offense in the scrimmage?
I would say, other than third down segment in the scrimmage, it was probably not one that we would like to revisit and live through again. It wasn't great. It was just, I think it was a bunch of guys coming off of finding out Luke wasn't there that day, emotionally trying to figure out where everybody was, what we were going to do. I think that we struggled a little bit, but I've been on a lot of really good offenses that the first scrimmage of the fall, they got their butts kicked by the defense, and then they got to come back to second scrimmage and see if they can get a little bit better. And that's where we are right now.
Marcus, so with the quarterback situation again, is this a case of as soon as Luke's better, it's his job again? I mean, is whoever gets to start on the fourth or beyond, is they just kind of keeping the job warm for Luke, or is it going to be in reopened competition?
I mean, I have no clue. Like, one, I don't really know truly when Luke is coming back, and then you don't know like where are you as a state of the team at that point. So you definitely don't want to promise anything to anybody. You just take it day by day. I know it's a frustrating answer, but you really just have to take it day by day and see what's happening.
All right, Marcus Satterfield from his visit with the media today, and then tonight on his call-in show, reading the tweets of Josh Kendall from The Athletic, Shane Beamer said, quote, "Last Saturday morning, I would have told you it was very likely he, Luke Doty, was done for the season. By the time we got the results back, it wasn't that severe. Since then, his prognosis has only improved. I think," he continued, "it's very likely that he gets that cast off and starts taking reps very soon. I think it's very possible he's ready for the first game." So that is certainly encouraging news for South Carolina if, of course, Luke Doty is the clear best quarterback on the roster. Beamer also said that regarding COVID-19 protocols that, quote, "the guys who need to get tested got tested yesterday. No issues there." He said USC will hit 85% plus vaccination on Sunday. So those are some key notes from Shane Beamer on his first call-in show for
One other, Phil,
South Carolina. Yes, sir.
He actually referenced the Rick Sandage injury as well and says he's not sure he'll be ready, or at least quite ready, as it's phrased, for game one. He does believe Kevin Harris and Cam Smith moving along. They're optimistic they'll be ready to go against Eastern Illinois, but maybe not Rick Sandage.
Well, I think if there's one area they can sustain a loss for a small amount of time, it would be defensive line. I mean, even though, Sandage didn't have a great year last year, looks like he's committed himself to come back and be a better player this year. They've got some really good defensive linemen from end to end, pro-type guys. And one thing we talked with Clayton White about is with J.J. Inabare drawing a lot of double teams, how they can take advantage of that with their defensive calls. And it's something they'll be very aware of, he said, the fact that Inabare, who's a very good sack man, could draw a lot of double teams, and that could open up some plays inside for some of those defensive tackles.
Yeah, exactly. And then you talked about, we've talked a good bit about the Clemson defensive front. South Carolina's maybe not quite that level, but it's going to be darn good. And I think the Gamecocks, I think you're right. I think they'll do a much better job against the run, as we touched on a week or so ago, maybe not to the degree of holding teams under 100 yards. The key thing, and I went back and looked at this today because I was curious, last season, Gamecocks defensively were giving up about 50% on conversion downs, whether it be third down and fourth down combined. They've got to improve there. They've got to get off the field if they're going to sustain any level of success, not just defensively, but as a whole for that team. Got to find a way to be much, much better on third down conversions this year defensively than they were last year.
Indeed. All right. So, first of all, I want to thank all the folks here at Charleston Southern, going back to the former Associate AD, Seth Montgomery, who left to go to Indiana State. Before he left, I said, Seth, there's got to be a used Larry Bird jockstrap somewhere in the locker room there at Indiana State. I want it. Okay? I said, I want it. I don't care what it looks like or smells
Of all
like.
the sports memorabilia you could ask for, that's where you
Well,
went.
I mean, I'm sure it's too expensive to get a Larry Bird jersey, but a jockstrap's probably lying around there and available. Thanks to Derek Bennington and to Kieran Intaman, who stepped in Seth's void to take care of us. They did a great job getting the coaches and the players, getting us a great setup here at the stadium. They did not do a good job with the weather because, man, there is a major dark cloud. You know it's a dark cloud when it's night, and you can see how dark the cloud is because it's really dark hanging over us. But that's okay. We'll make our way out of it. Been a lot of fun. Thanks to Chris and Pat and everybody for making it fun. Tomorrow, our first Founders Federal Football Friday officially of the football season. Looking forward to it. A lot more college stuff for you. Golf with George. Jeff will be off tomorrow night, but we'll talk about Michigan. And, of course, we'll hear from Clayton White and look ahead to the high school games as well. So y'all have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.
Weekdays from 7 to 9 on The Point. It's Kev and Brian in the morning. The news, the traffic 4 times an hour, and your daily forecast. Topics to wake you up, topics to make you smile and laugh. Hope you'll